Well, nobody has scored more runs in the Sheffield Shield in the last 12 months than this man, Jake Weatherald. Jake, thanks so much for joining us. Welcome.
Oh, thanks for having me, guys. Cheers.
Now, we'll get on to your excellent innings against Western Australia shortly, but we have to start with that crazy finish to the match. On the last morning, you guys went in, you needed 2 wickets, WA needed 40-odd runs, WA needed 7 runs, and you guys still needed 2 wickets, but you won. Just talk us through that morning.
Yeah, it was a pretty dramatic finish, to be fair. It was awesome. That's what live sport's all about and professional sport's all about. So, yeah, it was. We probably thought we were out of the game when they were, cruising away there at like 5 for nearly the score, and then we got a couple of wickets, and then we thought we were right on top, and then. Yeah, we probably went into that final day thinking, we're probably a good chance to win this. The bowlers are refreshed, but to their credit, they batted really well. Curtis batted really well, and so did Rock as well. But at the same time, when you only need 2 wickets, you just never feel out of it. And thankfully, it's very 2 high class bowlers who could bowl right at the end there and snag 2 wickets. But yeah, it was full of drama, which was great.
As is often the case down in Hobart, it was obviously dominated by the seamers early. I don't think anyone got a 50 in the first innings. Then you came out and got a runnable 90-odd, which in the end obviously proved the difference between the two sides. You have to talk us through that innings and what went well for you that day.
Yeah, I think the wicket always gets better. I'm not gonna say that it was the same as the first innings. It was tough for everyone on the first day and a bit. The wicket definitely hardened up a bit. There's a few divots, but at the same time, you got a bit more reward for your shots. And yeah, I just sort of took some percentage risks. Obviously, square the wicket. Try to make sure I impose myself on the bowling and make sure I put some pressure on and make them feel as though they can't hit a spot where I feel as though they could be more challenging. They got some high class bowlers there, so it was just about putting pressure on them early in my innings, and then from there just trying to keep out any good balls. But if they bowled any bad balls, just trying to put them away, and even if they bowled some good balls, trying to put pressure on them as well too. So thankfully it worked out. Yeah, it was fun to be out there and contribute the way I did. So.
Yeah, 94 from 99 balls. When you got out there, when you walked out to bat, I think the top score in that game to that point was something like 42. Was it a deliberate approach to go at something like a run and ball, thinking that the pitch was a little bit tricky, or did that just happen naturally?
I think it's a little bit of both, but probably mainly just the fact that the ground itself is quite high scoring, quick scoring anyway. Maybe not high scoring, but quick scoring. So, and when the conditions are bowler friendly, it does open up opportunities to score. So, I probably took my chances a little bit, especially outside of stump. Probably wouldn't look to be as aggressive outside of stump early in my innings as I normally do. But I sort of said, well, this is the opportunity to score, and with the way the wicket was playing, it was the best opportunity to put some pressure back on. So for me, it was just take your opportunities outside of stump, and then if they got straight, trying to hurt them through the leg side, and anything short, trying to tuck into that as well. But the wicket itself was definitely getting a little bit better. But yeah, it's just sort of a bit more of a positive approach and a fast scoring ground, which helps as well.
A couple of years ago, you obviously made the decision to move down to Tasmania, which has proven quite fruitful so far. Are you happy to talk us through why you came to that decision and, how's life been down in Tasmania? You seem to be absolutely loving it down in Bellerive.
Yeah, I love batting down there. It's obviously one of the best batting strips going around for white ball and red ball. It can have its challenges early in the game, but also there's a lot of high value there as a batter. I've made a lot of runs down there now, so I love being there. I love playing there. The community down there is great. Obviously, my club side I really enjoy playing for as well, Kingborough. I've made some really close friends. And it's just a small town country vibe sort of thing. So similar to where I was back when I lived in Darwin. You just sort of enjoy being around, have your own coffee spots and all that stuff. And the move came because I wanted a bit of a fresh start. It wasn't anything towards South Australia. I think they've done so much great things for me. But at the same time, I was looking for a fresh start and fresh perspective on my career. And thankfully, they were able to let me go, and I'm able to, go on and do different things now and play cricket in another state, which has been cool.
Might be the first person ever to say Tasmania is similar to Darwin, Jake. Certainly not in terms of climate, they're not.
No, definitely not.
What has clicked with your batting in the last 12 months? Sheffield Shield leading run scorer last year. It just seems like your batting has gone to a new level. Can you put your finger on what's just gone right for you?
I think it's just, the fact that we've got such a awesome first-class cricket system, and the fact that, we've got great coaches within our country, and the conditions and the players you play against, you just naturally get better as more cricket you play. And I'm very fortunate to have played against some really great cricketers, played with some great cricketers, and to learn and absorb all that stuff. And I feel like my age is getting to a point now where I'm in my prime. I'm playing good cricket. I've learnt lots, and I've done my study, as some would say. And now I'm just in a position where I understand what I need to do to make runs in first class cricket, and hopefully that's transferable to the next level. But at the same time, I feel like in a good place, and I've been very lucky to have such a long period in domestic cricket, and to be able to serve my time and learn a lot from some awesome coaches and players.
You mentioned it just there, but there's of course an Ashes series just around the corner, and there's a spot up for grabs potentially at the top of the order. You mentioned that ahead of this summer, before the summer got underway, that the national selectors reached out to you and said that, if runs continued flowing, the chances would come. Have they reached out to you at all since in the past few weeks? Have they given any indication of what you need to do to be in the frame for that Perth test?
There's definitely, we've had some correspondence. Nothing more than just talking about my batting. Nothing about technical stuff or what's going to happen or selection. Nothing about that. It's just, you're moving well. You look like your game's in good order. Just keep being simple and walking out there and doing the same things. And if the opportunity's there, you got to take it. So I think it's nothing more than that. It's been pretty simplistic. Nothing too complicated. Just keep doing the things you're doing now, and hopefully the opportunity arises. Really.
The way you bat, Jake, with your strike rate is just about the best strike rate in the Sheffield Shield for an opener. Do you feel like that gives you a real edge over some of the other contenders, and you can potentially be that guy, not to compare you to David Warner, but you can play in a similar way, keeping that strike rate up?
Yeah, I think that's certainly what my strength is, and why I think that people are talking about it. But at the same time, the players that are also being chatted about have their own styles and the way I want to go about things. And I'm sure, if they got the opportunity, they'll take it as well. But at the same time, yeah, that's what I probably bring to the table, and compared to other players, and hopefully that's the way they want to go. It'd be an awesome opportunity to be at the top of the order and be a part of a great team and some amazing players. But yeah, I'm not sure if that's going to get me over the line or not. But I think it's the way it runs, and hopefully the way I do it helps me a little bit.
And you were involved in the One Day Cup game yesterday. Was that a management thing? Was that a selection thing? Why weren't you out there for the game yesterday?
Yeah, I've worked closely with Tassie to sort of just prioritise certain formats of the game when I can, and sort of make sure that I'm in the right frame for Shield cricket. And I feel as though that if I'm playing too much red white ball cricket, sometimes my game can be compromised a little bit. But in general, I played the first 2 one-dayers leading into the red ball season, and got me ready to face some good high-class bowling. Obviously, we played some good teams leading in. But then, yeah, during Shield games, I like to have a bit of a break between Shield games, just so that I can prepare the way I need to get ready for red ball cricket, which has been awesome from Tassie. That's why, I've extended my contract with them. They've been so supportive in the way they go about their program. The coach there, Jeff Vaughan, and the whole management team there has been awesome with me. And also just, as a player, you want to make sure that you're fresh and ready to go mentally and physically. So it's good.
Yeah, it's prioritising red ball cricket is certainly working out for you at the moment, Jake. In these last couple of Shield matches and the ones coming up, you're not naive. You know that you're a contender for this Ashes spot. Is it difficult to sort of compartmentalise it? Or I know if I was in your position, I'd be running off the ground, checking the scorecard straight away. Oh God, Marnus has got another 100. Are you doing much of that? How's it been?
Yeah, look, as a sportsman, you're obviously naturally competitive. That's just the way you are as people, and you want to bet everyone that you play against or competing against. But at the same time, like, I know that doesn't really serve me that much. It doesn't serve my career. It doesn't serve what's going to happen in my future, and in terms of what's going to happen in the Australian team or how many runs I'm going to make. And it's only going to add confusion to me. So for me, it's just, try to rock up and just shut it out and just enjoy batting and try to be as competitive as I can out in the field with the people I'm playing against. And then when, whatever happens. I can't control how many runs I'm going to make. I can't control what I do when I'm on the field. But if my mindset's in the right place and I'm consistent with that off the field, I know I can walk into games and be fresh and ready to compete and not be daunted by things that probably don't serve me very much. So.
And obviously, this summer, Jofra Archer and Mark Wood are going to be steaming in. Plenty of water to go under the bridge. But how do you feel about the potential challenge of coming up against them this summer on some bouncy decks across the country?
Yeah, it's going to be exciting, to be fair. Facing high-paced bowlers is always a challenge. But again, batting in Australia is one of the best places to do it. It's got consistent bounce with and plenty of reward as well. So from a batting point of view, I'm just going to see it as a great opportunity to score. all around the ground. Obviously, square the wicket is where I love scoring. So I think with those guys, it's going to be a great challenge. But at the same time, I feel as though my game's in a place where I can hopefully put some pressure back on them as well and use their pace to my advantage.
You have the chance to be one of the first fully fledged cricketers from the Northern Territory to play for Australia. Damien Martin spent a few years there but moved to Western Australia when he was pretty young. You spent a lot of time there. What would it mean to you to represent the NT on the big stage?
Yeah, it'd be awesome. I think it'd just be so cool just to reflect when I was a kid. Obviously, growing up, you never had, you had your club role models and the people that played club cricket, but you never had any great representation in the international domestic scene to aspire to. And that's something that you compete against with the AFL. Obviously, they've got some great players that have come from the territory, but for me, it was to be able to provide that for some kids back home would be awesome. Boys and girls there to be able to provide. Show that there's a pathway from playing the NT, which is obviously quite a small place relatively, and probably a long way away from different parts of Australia, and a long way away from what's going on in the rest of the world. It provides a bit of a pathway for kids, and hopefully I represent that. And it'd be cool for me to represent the territory and show that there's some great players that can come from there if you give them the chance.
And Cricket Australia has flagged the potential of Darwin hosting a test match next year. Potentially, obviously still a few things to sort out there, but what would it mean for Darwin and Northern Territory to host a test match? And I have to get my timelines right here, but were you potentially there for the most recent test? I think it was about 20 odd years ago, the last time Darwin hosted a test match.
I was there. I was there. Obviously, I got to meet people that I end up, idolising, and that experience for me probably drove a lot of my ambition to play for Australia, and not having that experience with a lot of kids for so long is probably stunted a little bit of growth up there in terms of having real life people that you can physically touch and talk to, and having international cricket around Darwin has probably stunted maybe cricket up there a little bit. But my experience was I got to be around Brett Lee and Jason Gillespie and Darren Lehman and stuff like that, people that I got to watch on TV, and then actually speak to them and get photos with them and stuff like that was an amazing experience. And to be able to hopefully provide that for some kids back home, and even if I'm not a part of it, just to see Test cricket back there would be great for the kids. I know how much they love it up there, and they're just starved. The staff of high quality cricket, and you saw in the T20 series against South Africa that they love their cricket up there. They would fill out stadiums up there, and people didn't think that was possible considering it's such a footy dominated place. So to be up there would be great, and great for the kids.
Well, you are doing great work representing the Northern Territory and, of course, Tasmania at the moment. Jake, thanks so much for joining us. Good luck for whatever cricket is ahead of you in the next month or so.
No worries. Thank you. Cheers, guys.